Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Fatarash. Double honors to the elder apostles, the bishops, and elders, the GMS, who will dwell, peace, and salutations to the left. My name is Ayah. The title of the video is The Council of the Wicked is Through. Right? Ultimately, Yahweh Bahashem Shai has confounded the council of these devils. Right? This is Job 18:5. It says, Yet a light the wicked shall be put out, and the spark of his fire shall not shine. The light shall be dark in his tabernacle, and his candle shall be put out with him. The steps of his strength shall be straight. Right, and this is the point. Right, straight meaning the position of difficulty. Right, it says the steps of his strength shall be straight. Right, so he's in the difficult position. It says, "And his own counsel shall cast him down." So everything that this devil does is going to further, dig the hole that he's already in. Right? There's no way to dig out of that hole or that pit. It says, "For he is cast into a net by his own feet and walketh upon a snare." Right. So every move that the devil has made has led him to the point where he's at now. Right. And there's no escape. You know, it says, verse 9, "The jinn shall take him by the heel, and the robber shall prevail against him." So the jinn is talking about a trap, right? Or a snare, right? As what Jeremiah 50:51 goes into, the Most High Yahweh Bashman shall the snare for him. And that snare is where he's at right now, in that war with Iran, right? It says, "And the robber shall prevail against him." All right, so he can't get himself out of this trap that he's into with Iran, no matter what he does. And everything he do is causing to get worse for him. All right, it says, uh, "The snare is laid for him in the ground, and a trap for him in the way. Terror shall make him afraid on every side, and shall drive him to his feet." So this devil has problems on every side. I'm gonna get into this right here, this article, because this is another, you know, article just showing that this devil really doesn't have too many cards left. Nero 37 said he holds all the cards, right? But he keeps playing the same card, and it's just making it worse and worse. The Most High Yahweh Bashmi Shai destroying this place. It says Bessie threatens to deny access to dollar to countries that fail to join U.S. sanctions. Now, this doesn't do anything but further pushes people away from America, just like it has done already, right? And this devil is continuing to do the same thing. He's just digging the hole deeper and deeper and deeper. People keep trying to get around this dollar for previous things that the devil has done, and he continues to do the same thing. You know, on the when he's able to say, "Oh, I'm mad at you. You can't use the dollar." Right. So the whole world is looking for an out. They're looking for a way around the dollar. Right. And at the same time, they're just looking at America as, not needed. Right. Weak. As some of these scriptures goes into. We get Isaiah 14. Says Isaiah 14:18, it says, "All the kings of the nations, even all of them lie in glory, everyone in his own house." Let me see. It's like that's not what I mean. Okay, right here. This is we can get it from 14, 9, verse 9. This is Isaiah 14:9. It says, "Hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at that coming. It stirred up the dead for thee, even all the chief ones of the earth." Right? They have raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations. All they shall speak and say unto thee, "Art thou also become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? That pomp is brought down to the grave, and the noise of thy vows, right? The worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee." Right? So people are no longer looking at this place America as something that's weird, like, just the be all, like America, the greatest place on earth, the most moral country in the world. People no longer looking at it like they're looking at America as weak and pathetic, you know. So, Isaiah 47. Says Isaiah 47:1, come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon, sit on the ground, there is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and better. Take the millstone and grind meal, uncover thy locks, make bare legs, uncover the thigh, as for the rivers. Right? Thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yet thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance and I will not meet thee as a man. All right, and this is the point. The nakedness of America is being seen. Right? And nations are trying to flee from America. And they themselves are becoming stronger than America. Why? Because you have things like BRICS, countries uniting against the dollar. And these devils keep, talking about, hey, we're going to take the dollar from you. Meanwhile, the nations are, slowly and now urgently moving away from the dollar. Joel 8:9, it says, proclaim ye this among Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, bring them up, beat your plowshare through swords, and your thin hooks into spears, so the weak say, I am strong. So these nations are seeing that. Now, check this out. It says countries that fell to Washington, countries that failed to comply with the new U.S. sanctions on Iran will be de facto denied access to the U.S. dollar. Right? And this is not smart. This is not a wise tactic because you tried the same tactic already, and it caused things like BRICS nations to form. Many countries to want to sign up on it. Right? Which BRICS countries, they're forming their own type of currency, world currency, right? Which doesn't include the dollar. It says U.S. Secretary of the Treasury Scott Bessent has told reports. He did not elaborate when the new selective sanctions on Iran will come into force. When asked why Washington has not yet begun implementing them, Bessent replied, why would I want to blow up the global financial system? So these devils are kind of mentally challenged. They don't know what the hell is going on. They think they have a master plan, but the Most High Yahweh Bashmal shall have them in the snare. Right? And this is the counsel that the Most High has given them. It says in his words, the U.S. administration is ready to wait for some time. Other countries should know that will move very quickly and that we are serious. Secondary sanctions are a very powerful tool. You see, their powerful tool is cutting countries off from the dollar. And that's what they're leaving. It says we believe that a warning shot in a level set of its expectations is appropriate. And if people do not want to meet our expectations, then we expect that they should leave the dollar system. Yeah, and that's exactly what they're going to do, right? And it's going to be the downfall of America, right? The dollar is king, so therefore America is king. America to buy all these military equipment and things they need, they use the dollar. What's happening when the dollar is no longer in power? Habakkuk 2, sorry, Isaiah 19. So Isaiah 19. And just second one says the burden of Egypt, behold, the Lord Yahweh Bashmal shall rise upon his full cloud and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved for his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. And I will set the Egyptian against the Egyptian. So he's talking about America, right? So American against America. And they shall fight everyone against his brother and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to the idols and to the chambers, and to them that have the spirits and to the wizards. This is what these devils are doing. They have lost the counsel. NLT says the Egyptians will lose heart, and I will confuse their plans. Right? So they're not thinking clearly. Right? You don't have a way out of this thing. All right. And that's you have New 47 in leadership giving out the plans. This man said he rebuilt the military. And look what the military is doing. Losing. Isaiah 47 and 12, it says, stand now without enchantments and with the multitude of thy sorceries wherein thou hast labored from thy youth. It shall be, thou shalt be the prophet. It shall be, thou mayest possess. Thou art weary in the midst of thy counsels. Let now the astrologers, the stargazers, the monthly prognosticators send up and save thee from these things that shall come upon you. Right? So it's like a taunt. Like, go ahead and do something. I dare you. So behold, they shall be as stubble, the fire shall burn them, they shall not deliver themselves from the power of the flame, there shall not be a coal to warm them, nor fire to sit before. Thus shall they be unto thee, with whom thou hast labored, even thy merchants from thy youth. They shall wonder every one to which word man shall save you. All right, you know, and just getting into it because these devils think, it's them, right? And they're the clay. The Most High Yahweh Bashar Shai has them, uh, doing what He wants them to do. The scriptures say the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord, right? And everything that they're doing, but the Most High Yahweh Bashar Shai is controlling them to do it. That's why everything they're doing is making it worse for them because the scriptures say Esau is the end of the road and Jacob is the beginning of the follower. Nothing they can do can save them from what's about to happen. Just like I just did in Isaiah 47. Isaiah 29:15 says, woe unto them that seek deep to hide their conflict in the Lord Yahweh watching out shine, and their works are in the dark. And they say, who seeth us in the north? Truly your turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay. It's like you just made a clay figure. It's going to be what the Lord wants, right? And if you try to do anything that the Lord doesn't want, it won't matter. It's not going to work. You're trying to offset prophecy. You're trying to find a way out of this snare or trap that the Most High Yahweh Bashar Shai got you in, it ain't happening, right? So surely your turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay. For shall the work say of him that made it, he made me not? Or shall the thing frame say of him that framed it, he had no understanding? So the Most High Yahweh Bashar Shai is all power, and all understanding, right? And he's controlling himself, right? And Esau can't do anything to be himself a part of this, all right? So this has been the counsel of the wicked is true, right? They're making plans that they have already made in the past that let them know it, and they're still making the same exact plans. It's insanity, right? Lord willing, you'll edify from this lesson. So I will warn to the elect, which consists of men, women, and children, shall one.